fondest dreams. So those words of homes are serving us this morning as we go through this whole month of July with our theme, which is the many facets of freedom. So each Sunday we're going to talk about a different aspect of freedom. So today is the freedom that peace brings. And peace does bring tremendous freedom. Serenity, serenity. To be at peace, to extend peace to every aspect of our lives. And there are many ways to describe this word peace. And the one I really resonate with, peace is not the absence of conflict, but the serenity in the midst of it. That's when we really know we're at peace. And all that stuff is going on all around us, yeah? And we can remain at peace while it is going on. And Holmes defines peace in his Science of Mind textbook. Peace is a state of inner calm. An inner calm so complete that nothing can disturb it. And there is a wonderful parable. Oh, I'm glad you did go home. It's a parable. you would have all missed the parable. There once was a king who offered a prize to the artist who could paint the best picture of peace. Many artists tried, and the king really narrowed it down to two pictures that he couldn't decide between. So he had to choose between them. One picture was of a calm lake. The lake was a perfect mirror, and it reflected the towering mountains and the white puffy clouds above it. It was the very picture of peace itself. You know, this beautiful blue sky, and everybody thought, well, this is the one. This represents peace. This is peace. But then there was another picture that also had mountains painted onto it, but they were rugged and bare. And above these mountains was this like hard rainstorm being depicted coming down with lightning in the sky. And down the side of the mountain was this rushing water. So this picture did not look peaceful at all to many people who looked at it, but the king noticed something. He noticed that upon closer inspection, he could see behind the waterfall where there was this bush and a mother bird sitting on her nest. And in the midst of the storm, in the midst of this angry water, a mother bird had built her nest and sat upon it in perfect peace. So this is the picture that the king chose. So in the midst of all that looks like turmoil and chaos in our lives, and that happens, to remain focused in peace. And so it's like, how do we do that? That's what I talked about this morning. So peace is not the absence of conflict, not the absence of storms, not the absence of rough waters. It is in spite of all of that when we can still be in that place of centeredness, of peace, of well-being. And in order to have freedom, to find the calm serenity in the midst of conflict, in order to have the freedom to find peace, we need to understand two important things and then apply these two important things into our lives. Ernest Holmes speaks of them in his definition of freedom in the glossary, again on that Science of Mind book. It's our big textbook, where he says, real freedom means that we are created in the image of perfection and let alone and allowed to make the discovery for ourselves. Two tremendously important concepts come from these just a few short sentences. And the first one is that the essence of perfection, of life, of God, of spirit, is who and what is each of our true identities. That's our true identity. That perfect essence of God that flows through us is the truth of who we are, and to be aware of it, to know that it does indeed exist. And second is to know that we've been given complete choice on how to respond, on how to live our lives, because we're creating our lives. It doesn't just happen to us. It might look that way, but we make conscious decisions on how to respond to different situations in our lives. So you might think, well, what does that have to do with peace? And it has everything to do with peace. Freedom has everything to do with peace. And so you have at the very center of each and every one this flow of complete peace, the essence of peace itself, and this is where you get to choose to access it at any time, because these spiritual truths, this essence that we speak of, the truth of us, is present all of the time. It's just our awareness of that indwelling self and knowing that we can access it at any time we really choose. It's present. It's really present. It's our eternal self, that which connects us to the great I am. But in our human experiences, we often forget this. We forget this, and we let the circumstances and the conditions dictate our inner life. We get caught up in the drama of life, great drama of life. Sometimes it shakes us to our very core. And the fear that we might feel reigns supreme when we give that total power, when we forget to connect with the great peace that's within us, because it is there for us to access at any time. The Course of Miracles tells us that there is only fear or love. If you're familiar with their teachings, there is only fear or love. And to me, fear always, not fear, love always equates with peace. Because if I'm not at peace, I really can't love. I have to be centered and in harmony within myself in order to give it out, in order to feel the love, in order to give the love. The peace must be accessed within me on a really deep level. And I love how the Prosperity Plus class, which fits in really nicely here, because Erin and I will be facilitating it, there's Erin over there, in September. But Mary Morrissey breaks down the word circumstance. And circum means surrounding, and stance means the place where we stand. So circumstances, the conditions surrounding where we are right now, there always are conditions. You ever notice that? There are always conditions surrounding us in life. But this is where the peace comes in. The choice of peace, of love or fear comes in right here. We get to choose. So we think our peace is being wrenched from us by the conditions in which we stand. But really, that is not the real truth. It is our perception. Remember that. We perceive the perception of the situation that holds us. Our perception of a situation or condition is our interpretation of it, our judgment of what's going on, our opinion. We completely believe our perceptions as being the absolute truth. What we perceive is going on is the truth, and we believe it fully. We forget to turn within, where the peace lies. And the Course of Miracles also says, would you rather be, I love this one, I always say this one because I love it, would you rather be right or happy? You know, would you rather be right or happy? Most of us will say happy. And sometimes we really believe that that's what we're choosing. But then that little, sneaky little old ego self, our little belief system, will say, no, you really want to be right. You really want to write about this. Forget the happy thing. Because you think, if I'm right, I'll be happy. But most of the time, you know, what we want to be right about is usually some ridiculous small thing that doesn't mean anything. And we cause such chaos in our lives by attempting always to be right. So it's really let it go, and be at peace. Just be at peace. Be at peace. Let go of it. Our minds can perceive circumstances that not only disturb our sense of peace, but fills us with an irrational fear. These fears that are so blown out of proportion sometimes. A woman dreamed she was being chased by a bear. And so this bear finally cornered her, and she asked in terror, "Will you kill me? Will you kill me?" And the bear replied to her, "I don't know, lady." Okay, "Are you going to kill me? Are you going to kill me?" And the bear replied calmly, "I don't know, lady. You tell me. It's your dream." Are you going to live your life in peace? I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. You tell me. It's a choice. It's always a choice. It's our dream. It's our dream. So let's choose the happy dream. Let's choose the peaceful dream in the midst of the conditions. Because there will always be conditions. They change, they pass, and then a whole new set of conditions comes in. But it's our interpretation, our perception of those conditions that makes all the difference in the world. We've been given this gift of choice. We get to choose. We have free will. So we can look at any situation with the perspective of serenity and of calm, like the bird in the nest. Or we can look at it from a place of fear or upset. No matter what is going on around us, the Spirit of God is peace. That's the truth that we need to really indoctrinate ourselves with, that the Spirit of God is always peace and harmony. It has to be, or else it would self-destruct. It must be in balance with itself. So there's always a divine right order. There's always this harmony and this integration. The Spirit of God is your divine connection with the peace that passeth all understanding. That's the connection. And I have 5 ideas that will help you claim this peace, to help you raise your consciousness to that vibration of peace.